You came for the pint, but you ended up in Scary Larry's House of Horrors. Wrong turn, bitches.
Any edible fantasies you'd like to indulge in, Billy, now's the time.
Happy Halloween, Pint listeners. My name is John.
My name is Lloyd.
I'm Larry.
I'm Laura.
And we're here to talk about Society from 1989. This is your Halloween episode, Scary Larry's House of Horrors Halloween special. It's going to be a good time.
Spooky.
Laura was here last year.
Yes, it was.
We did Hellraiser.
Mm-hmm.
And coincidentally, on the day we're recording this, right, today, the brand new Hellraiser has been released on Hulu. So just a little coincidence going back to Halloween of 2021. There's slime in the movie we're talking about, but it's not necessarily Frank slime.
No, it's different but adjacent to Frank Slime. I'm not...
Well, Frank Slime has blood in it.
Yeah. Yeah, Frank slime is pretty sinewy.
But he's slippery,
He is slippery.
as are the people in this film.
People, if they're even people. So we put out a vote. I don't remember what movies were put up there.
Yeah, I don't even remember this being a vote.
It was
this a vote?
It was to the Pint Insiders. $2.50 a month will get you that privilege of getting to vote on some of this
You
stuff.
don't remember what the other movies were?
I do not.
I would love to know what this beat.
It beat some seriously
Some heavy hitters.
heavy hitters. I apologize for not having that ready, but I'm talking like stuff that's like very kind of out there and forward. And Society won.
Okay.
And this is definitely a, I guess we could say, Larry,
A film?
a cult classic, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. All right. So Society, this is crazy. Made in 1989. All right. Filmed in January of 1989. Pasadena, Van Nuys, California. The hospital from Halloween 2,
Yep.
the exterior,
Yep.
is the same hospital that we see in this movie later on.
Haddonfield Memorial Hospital.
That's right.
Yeah.
So this wasn't...
Which is funny because...
Oh, I know. I know.
ahead.
The lead actor, Billy Warlock,
Right.
his father played Michael Myers, Dick Warlock,
Yep.
in Halloween 2.
Right.
And...
He was also in the film with his brother as well.
Correct.
He played a teenager named Dennis.
I don't remember his
Carl?
name, but he was one of the dudes who went up to Donald Pleasance and said, "Hey, we can't find Ben Tramer. We're really worried about him. He was drunk and wearing that stupid mask."
Okay.
Right.
That
You're
was
talking about Billy Warlock.
That was
Billy
it.
Warlock,
Yeah.
yeah. Which, by the way, is that a stage name or his real name?
I don't know.
Because if
As
it's
far as
not,
I know, it's his
You
Warlock
gotta,
is an
you gotta
awesome
ask
last
Dick
name.
Warlock.
Yeah.
Gotta ask Dick Warlock.
Yeah.
He'll tell you.
Yeah.
Dick Warlock is the best as a whole.
Nicest guy, too.
Another little
Nicest
trivia
guy.
is that the high school in this movie is the same high school that Billy Warlock graduated from.
10 years earlier.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of crazy stuff there. So this movie was made in 1989 and essentially shelved in America until June 11th of 1992 when it came out, and then just completely failed.
Hey.
Well, it's true. It's true. This is a crazy factoid. When I hear the words Cannes Film Festival, I think of big movies or very important movies or, artsy fartsy movies. But the truth is a lot of movies debut at Cannes Film Festival. This movie was shown on May 13th of 1989 at the Cannes Film Festival.
Yep.
Which it just doesn't ring as that type of movie you would think of. Directed by Brian Yuzna, who was a producer up until this point. He went on to direct The Bride of and Beyond Reanimator.
Yep.
And another film called The Dentist. I think that was the one with Corbin Burnson, right?
Yep.
Dr. Giggles is the bad guy from Darkman. The Dentist is Corbin Burnson.
Yes.
Is that the one where the cover had the nails in the teeth, like in the gums?
Oh, I don't know.
I remember being younger, going to Blockbuster, looking at the horror movie section, and I have a thing about teeth. I can't handle teeth. But this, I remember
You
vividly.
have them, you know.
I know, I don't like to
Okay.
think about it. Okay. Like, it was just like nails or something in gums.
That's-
Something like that. And it's stuck with me my entire life. And I think it was the dentist. I don't remember.
All right.
I can't look it up. I couldn't even take like an illustration of like weird.
I'm going to text it to you if I find
No,
it.
please don't. I'll cry.
He also did From Beyond. Did you say From Beyond?
No, From Beyond was Stuart Gordon. He produced From
He
Beyond.
produced From Beyond.
Yeah.
He was a writer too.
Oh, okay. I didn't mark that down because he didn't write this.
No, but he did write Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting.
Look at that, huh?
Interesting. This one was written by Woody Keith, who now goes by the name Zeph E. Daniel.
Which is close.
Yeah,
Makes sense.
close.
I see where the derivation came from.
He wrote Bride of Reanimator.
That was the dentist too.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah,
That's
that's nice.
Dentist 2, Electric Boogaloo.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So Woody Keith wrote Bride of Reanimator, Dementia, and Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 4. His writing partner on this was a guy named Rick Fry, who also co-wrote Bride of and Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 4 with him.
Yeah. A lot of friends working together.
Yeah.
There are a lot of cast that are involved in that movie as well.
Yeah. Why don't we get into the cast of this film, Lloyd?
Shabuya roll call. Woo.
Yeah, let's do that. Billy Warlock.
Let's do exactly
Let's
that.
do that.
Let's do what you said, John.
Billy Warlock, as we just mentioned before, as Bill Whitney, the main superstar of this film.
You know what I like to call him? Billy Warlock to me is if late 80s Rob Lowe
Yep.
and late 80s Michael J. Fox had a
Oh,
butt
yeah.
baby.
I can see
That
that.
is exactly what my boyfriend said, and he literally just sent me a text message saying, like, have fun talking about the Rob Lowe, Michael J. Fox.
You tell your fucking boyfriend via text right now that I think we just became best friends. And if he would like to, we could talk about a situation where we
I'll
get
show you. You see? That last message he sent.
tell him John wants talking about bunk beds. Okay.
See, I got a Stamos-y vibe, but
Oh,
Absolutely.
yeah. Oh, very, very hard statements.
Yeah.
good looking kid.
He is a good looking
Yeah, he
kid.
is. Well, he was in Baywatch.
Yeah.
I like the fact that he's a good looking kid, right?
He's greasy a lot.
He's obviously a good looking kid, but like it's weird because this family that he's in we'll
Does
get
not
into-
fit.
He doesn't fit the family
Or the friends, kind of.
or the friends, but,
Yeah.
but what I'm saying is like the family is like constantly kind of made out like, you don't fit in with us, Bill. Like, but he's good looking. Like it would have been maybe a little bit better if, like, say the friend who played what was the friend's name? Milo or the other friend were the Bill character. Blanchard, because those were kind of more normal looking kids. Bill Warlock is a good looking guy.
Yeah.
And they're like, you don't really fit in with us, Bill. It's like he's
better looking than you.
Right. He's just a dark haired version of you is all he is. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Also, he was in Halloween 2.
Yep.
And he was in soap operas, Days of Our Life,
Baywatch.
General Hospital. Yeah.
I'll
I said that.
be there. Yeah.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
Then we have Connie Denise as Bill's mother, Nanny.
Nanny.
Yeah, she did a lot of small roles. She was in, I guess she's best known for Crewman Toya in Star Trek Next Generation.
Oh. Okay. Not me, but
Yeah, not much else. Who's the boss?
Oh, hey.
So, minor roles here and there.
Who was the boss?
I think it was Angela.
Angela. Jonathan. Samantha.
I fucking hate Tony Danza.
Let me ask you a question about who's the
Hold me
boss.
closer, Tony Danza.
Do you think you would have, and I'm not saying she's great looking, but
Yeah.
do you think if you were Tony
Mona?
you would have
Would I
lasted in the
fuck
house with Mona? Because I got to be honest, I would have just gotten to the point where I'd have fucked her brains out.
Oh, Mona
Like,
had great cleavage.
Oh, Mona,
Yeah.
for sure.
For sure.
Yeah.
Like, there's only so much, like, old puss you could put in my face before I just go, you know what, Angela ain't working out. I'm going to do this.
Especially the woman from Soap. Great show.
Great show.
Soap was
Bert.
a great show. Fuck.
Wait, you said there's only so much. I'm really curious about what that threshold is.
There's a level.
Like, where's your tipping point? Like, how much is your tipping
Okay,
point?
my
How many Monas?
My tipping point is this: Tony, single dad. He's a maid, ex-baseball player. He's done worse, right? And Mona's not bad. And every episode, she's literally coming on to him. If Who's the Boss was like more of like a drama than a comedy, he'd have been fucking her from like episode 3. Yeah,
Yeah, for sure.
And also, like, her sister, too.
and her sister too. Yeah.
Then we have Ben Slack as Dr. Cleveland.
Oh, the
love this.
psychiatrist.
I love this creepy guy. Yeah.
Yeah, he's something.
Yeah, he was in Serpico, Bachelor Party, Piranha, if you remember. I think he's the guy in the boat that gets
Fucking
eaten.
Piranha.
Yeah.
Great movie.
A lot of 70s, 80s, and 90s shows, as are most of these characters.
Let's just talk about Piranha for a while.
Then we have Evan Richards as Milo, his friend. No acting credits for him after 2001, but
Not a shock.
he was in Altered States, Twilight Zone movie,
Yep.
couple things.
Probably like an attorney of some sort now.
Probably.
or pizza delivery guy.
Pizza guy.
One or the other.
Patrice Jennings as Sister Jenny Whitney.
She's kind of smoking.
She was hot.
You know, she's my age. She's 4 days older than I am.
When you started to say 4 days,
4
I
days
thought you said
older.
my age and you were going to say 40 something, and I was going to have to hit the fucking buzzer on you there, buddy.
I wish I was 40 something again.
Yeah. Yeah, she was cute. I'm not a big fan of blondes, but she was cute.
She was married at one point to the Chic drummer.
Just to a
Tony
sheep?
Thompson.
A sheep
Oh,
drummer?
Tony
No,
Thompson.
Chic. The band Chic.
He was also,
sheep.
Tony Thompson was the drummer of the Power Station.
Power Station.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah.
I like that.
Some
yeah.
like it hot.
It's like when the heat is on.
Yeah, she was in Growing Pains, Head of the Class, Beverly Hills 90210. All that stuff. This whole cast is
It's
like
a lot
that.
of heavy-hitting TV roles there.
Yeah.
Those are some big shows.
Yeah. Well, all the shows.
Head of the Class. That was, what's his name?
Howard Hessman.
Yeah, Howard Hessman.
Do you remember who the teacher was the last year when Hessman quit?
Oh, no, I didn't even know Hessman quit.
Billy Connolly.
Oh,
Now that you say that, I do remember
Now, wait,
that.
now
The
listen.
Australian or British, whatever the fuck he is.
Irish.
Scottish.
Close, I was close, right?
He's Scottish?
Scottish comedian. Now
Which
listen.
is like Australian and British combined.
Yes, it's both
Perfect.
together.
Okay.
So just for a second to blow your mind, in case you didn't hear the episode, a few months ago, I did the episode with the Forgotten Cinema guys, and it was about X-Files, the sequel movie, and Billy Connolly's in that. Billy Connolly's just John Cleese. Think about him. They're the same fucking guy. Just younger John Cleese. They look the
Really?
fucking same. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah. See, it's hitting you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Billy Connolly's dead.
Billy Connolly
No,
has...
No, he's not
he was
dead.
sick. He-
Right?
Maybe
so.
dementia or something.
Oh,
he definitely
really?
is like sick.
That feels worse.
I
than
remember
dead.
in it was probably early 90s, he had, remember the good comedians would always get like that HBO special?
Oh yeah.
And his was great.
With
He
the
has the
graphics.
funniest bit about doing a colonoscopy.
Oh, God.
The prep for a colonoscopy. Funny. If you can look that up
Yeah,
on
I will.
YouTube or something, that is hilarious.
I will. I always
right.
found him funny. I always found him
Well, he
funny
was
guy.
the second and actually not last. He was the second teacher on Head of the Class, which I think is on again. But you know how they're doing all these shows that like get
Yeah,
rebooted.
like Save
I'm
the Bell.
pretty sure on Disney Plus, Head of the Class is on again.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Everything,
Now that you said
everything
that,
old is
though,
new
I
again.
remember him taking over.
Yeah.
And I didn't remember it until you said it.
Because you remember one of the obviously you had Robin Givens and you had the heavy guy that like started all the Nickelodeon shows and he just recently got in a lot of trouble.
G. McBride.
No, Dan something. He was on Head of the Class, and then he became like one of the creators of Hannah Montana and all that stuff. And then very recently, all these like female allegations came out against this guy. But do you remember Tony Dowd from Chopping Mall and Karate Kid?
Yep.
He was like the nerdy guy in the class.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
Well, by the way, Billy Connolly not in this film.
No, not at all.
Okay. Interesting.
All right, Tim Bartel as David Blanchard. That would be Jenny's ex-boyfriend that somehow snuck into her closet while she was in there.
Yeah, that was odd.
That was weird.
It's crazy how that happens.
He was in Meatballs Part 2.
Was that the one with Ted? Me Ted?
I never saw
Meatballs
Meatballs.
too.
Never saw that
No.
one.
Oh, there was like an alien. There was like an alien.
Really?
I think that was probably Meatballs 4.
That's exactly what Meatballs needed.
Yeah.
We can't get Bill Murray. Let's add an alien character.
Yeah. It looked like E.T., but much more doughy.
Oh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Love a doughy alien.
Probably his most famous part, cheating student in the ABC After School Special in 1984.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I bet he learned a good lesson.
He was that guy. Remember him?
Okay.
Totally.
Charles Lucia as Jim Whitney. That's Bill's dad.
This guy has a
butthead.
fucking sockable face.
Oh my God.
He has a real punchable
He's
fucking
so
face.
punchable.
Yeah.
Especially when his face is coming out of someone's asshole.
Yeah.
There's also
own
something
asshole,
kind
I
of
think.
dreamy about him.
Is there really?
Yeah, and like that's not even my thing, but I don't know. I
Like when
find
his face is in an ass or before?
that
Okay.
and also before.
Okay.
But mostly the face and the ass.
Got
Okay.
He totally has like a soap opera star kind of look.
Oh,
to him.
totally.
Yeah, he
yeah.
has this very like classic like Ken doll handsomeness
Yeah.
to him.
Yeah.
Like
Oh, he's
he should
handsome,
be
there's no doubt.
Prince
Oh, yeah.
Charming.
Yeah.
And he
He's-
has a really nice smile.
Let's be honest.
Especially when his head is in the ass.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. Like at the end of the movie, when we get to see more of the mom's body, like she's got a good body, but like she doesn't belong with that guy.
Yeah.
Like she's not like that hot. You know what I mean?
She's not as hot
No.
as him. No.
That guy's definitely like tops in the country club. Probably
Oh, yeah.
like the number one golf guy. Like,
That's him. You got it. Yeah, he was in Hand That Rocks the Cradle. He was Captain Douche in Tank Girl.
Okay.
Oh, fuck Tank Girl.
Tank
Oh,
Girl.
I love Tank Girl.
I saw that in the movies once when it came out.
That's
and I
not a good movie, but Lori Petty is for me.
fucking hate Lori
Yeah.
Petty.
Really?
Hate Lori Petty.
Big fan.
I can see where you would be annoyed by her.
Oh, totally.
She can be
In
annoying.
Point Break?
She
So
she
hot.
is
Oh no, he hates her in Point Break.
she is
So hot.
She is the point
her in it.
in Point Break that bothers me because I don't see any way
Yeah.
that fucking cool ass Johnny Utah is gonna jump out of a fucking plane with no parachute for her. For her.
Super hot.
Not at all. Not at all. She also ruins not that I ever loved the movie, but she also ruins the baseball one.
League of Their Own.
League of Their Own.
She
She's
ruins
good
the
in
League
that.
of Their
Well, she's
Own
in-
for
I
you?
thought she was good in that.
Gina Davis is great. The movie's fine.
Kind of a
Lori
whiner.
Petty.
The movie's better than
it's
Gina
her
Davis
voice.
You
is
just don't
kind
like
of
her whiny
a
voice.
killjoy in that movie. Like everybody, and like Gina Davis.
Yeah,
is
Lori
like,
Petty's the fun
"Ooh."
one.
Yeah, she's.
Pick someone else to play the fun one. I don't like her.
I don't know. The only
Yeah,
thing that
you've got
Gina
a problem.
Davis has going for her.
I think she's your Kevin Dillon.
She probably could
Yeah,
be.
she is.
Yeah.
Now wait a minute. What were you gonna say? The only thing Gina Davis has going for her is what?
She's married to Bill Pullman in that movie, and I love Bill Pullman.
Do you mean Bill Paxton though?
No, it's Bill Pullman.
Okay, because a lot of people get those two.
Oh no,
wrong.
no, I love Bill Pullman.
Were you gonna say daddy thing for Bill Pullman? You started to say
No.
D or no?
Was I?
I think maybe.
Oh God, I hope not.
Do you turn the lights off when he does the speech on Independence Day and like tell people I can't talk right now?
I have a recording of it on my phone
You
from
do.
when I watched it
Oh my
on
god.
July 4th.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to show some stupidity. Who's Bill Pullman?
What?
The president in Independence Day,
Oh, that's his name?
Lone Star from
Lone
Spaceballs.
Star.
yeah, I don't
He was
think I
in
ever knew his
Serpent
name.
and the Rainbow.
Oh, yeah. No, I know exactly who he is.
Yep.
I just
Serpent
don't
and
think
the
I ever.
Rainbow.
Oh, I don't like that movie.
I'm not a big fan of it either. I watched it a few years ago, but there
It's
is
not
a scene.
great, but I just thought that was the best touchstone I could give
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, sure.
There
No,
is
I
a-
was fine with Independence Day. I know exactly who he is.
There is a scene where a guy's dick gets nailed to a board in Serpent and the Rainbow that really bothered the fuck out of me.
He's a good-looking guy. I get
He
it.
is.
I get
and
it.
he's only gotten better with age.
I haven't seen him lately. I don't think.
He's in this show called The Sinner.
Nothing.
Is that Jessica Biel?
There was like it's a kind of an anthology season kind
Right.
of thing. Each season is different, and Jessica Biel was in one of them. And
Interesting.
yeah,
Wow, you guys are all over this stuff.
Oh yeah.
I
What are we
just really
talking
love
about?
Bill Pullman.
All right, Bill Pullman, by the way,
episode?
Welcome to the
not
Bill
in
Pullman
this movie.
podcast.
He's not in this
He's
either?
not in this movie.
What the fuck are we doing then?
Billy Connolly, Bill Pullman. What other Bills can we talk about?
We can talk about Bill
Well, I
Paxton.
got.
Can we talk about Bill
Oh,
Clinton?
No, we don't need to go there.
I did not.
Saxophone.
I did not have sexual relations.
Oh, there goes Laurie Snort. I don't know if you've ever heard that before on the
famous snort.
podcast. Yeah.
we
I try
get
to
it a lot
pull
here.
Away when I do that.
She must like my Bill Clinton.
All right, we have Heidi Kozak as Shauna. That is Bill's girlfriend.
Oh, she's a super bitch.
So Friday the 13th.
She looked pretty
part
good in
7.
that blue dress, though. That-
You mean the jean dress?
The blue
The
jean dress.
acid wash jean
Yeah,
dress?
She was
Yeah.
she was the bitch.
Got a
in
good
part
figure.
7.
Oh, was she really?
Yeah, she was the bitchy girl
She
at the
was.
cabin in Friday
Yeah.
the 13th part 7.
Yeah. Slumber Party Massacre 2.
Yeah.
Head of the class.
Not a good movie. I heard Bill Connolly was in
Yeah. Last season. They rebooted it this year.
with Bill Pullman.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was a student, Bill Pullman.
So this next guy you might know,
Good.
Brian Bremer as Martin Petrie,
Oh, the nerd.
the nerdy student.
Yeah.
He was the elder brother in Pumpkinhead.
Oh fuck.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I've only
think I
seen
ever put
Pumpkinhead
that
a couple
together.
times. Yeah.
I don't think I put that together.
Ben Meyerson as Ted Ferguson, the douche.
So here's the thing, and I had to tell Lindsay this.
Yeah.
Is every time they said Ted Ferguson,
Turd.
I could only hear Turd Ferguson.
Through the whole
Ferguson,
movie.
yeah.
And this movie predates that skit.
Totally.
I've seen this movie 100 times before that skit.
Yeah.
He's Turd Ferguson.
Yeah.
Turd Ferguson.
There's nothing I could do about it. Every time they said it, every time I saw him, I was like, fuck. I wrote it down on my notes 7 times. Turd Ferguson.
Turd Ferguson.
Yep. Like,
You have is it just like 7 times in a row?
yeah.
Without
Turd Ferguson.
no other context.
Yep, no
just Turd
spaces in
Ferguson,
between.
Turd Ferguson.
I set
Ferguson.
it to 0 space in between.
It started getting like deeper and
Yep.
just like wrote
Yep.
it really hard.
Turd Ferguson. No, I could not hear it either.
God bless you, Norm Macdonald. You ruined it for me.
Thank you for that little bit. Yeah, as soon as they said his name the first time in the beach, I think.
Yeah.
I was like, did they say Turd Ferguson? And then I could not hear anything but Turd Ferguson.
Norm Macdonald also not in this movie.
No,
No.
no.
But Turd Ferguson was also in Knocked Up and Speed 2.
Okay.
Knocked up. What was he in Knocked up?
Turd Ferguson.
Yeah, I hope
He
so.
was just Turd Ferguson.
I haven't watched Knocked Up in a while.
Now,
been a while.
Here's one you probably don't know, but I appreciate her. Devin DeVasquez as Clarissa Carlin.
Oh, she was a playmate, wasn't she?
She
or a
was,
penthouse pet or something?
that's right, June 1985.
So-
Playmate of the Month.
As I did my research, as we do here on The Pint, and I like to be thorough,
Sure.
I said to myself, John, you've got to look up her nudie pictures.
Oh, I didn't
you
even think
can't-
of that.
You can't possibly do this show without.
And we saw her nude in the movie, right?
Yep.
But I was like, you know what? I got to see her Playboy pictorial. So I went and looked up Devin DeVasquez, and I think it was June of '85 or something like that.
Yeah. Well, that was the year she was Playmate.
Okay.
I think she appeared earlier.
She appeared earlier. So I looked it up, and I got to say, beautiful girl. She is of an era that we call the full Bush era of
yeah.
Playboy.
Oh, that was, the 80s.
She has the thickest and darkest
Really?
black pubic hair. That is just, it's not like,
Well, everybody else right now is on their phones looking it up.
I think they're looking it up now.
yeah.
Yeah.
I need to do it after.
All right.
Even the women, you think?
Yes.
Yes.
Like the women like me.
Are you?
Women
Are you?
here?
You're okay.
Even the one woman we've got with us.
Yes, I am trying to look it up.
Yes. Big Bush, though. So
Yeah.
full Bush.
So she was in Can't Buy Me Love, and
Great movie.
yes.
and I think Larry will appreciate this. Citizen
anchovies.
Toxic Avenger
Ugh.
4.
Oh.
4.
I don't even think I've seen
Also, and I just want to point this out.
Yes, please.
She created something called Devin's Kick-Ass Cajun Seasoning to help those affected by Hurricane Katrina.
Because
thank you,
that's
Devin.
that is how you help people affected by the hurricane.
That's true.
By giving them a
give them a
delicious
hot-
seasoning.
They have no
Cajun
food.
seasonings or pictures of your boobs.
Yes, one or the other.
They're like, but Devin,
Oh,
What do you got?
wow.
right? A lot of Bush, right, Laura?
Is there a lot of
Oh,
bush there? Let's see. Let's
yeah.
see.
Can you see it from across the
I could
table?
certainly see it from across the table.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Beautiful girl. And she said, I read like an interview with her where she said she, was used to being shown naked and things. So being naked wasn't weird, but the sex scene to her was
Right.
weird. And then she only felt good when she realized that Billy Warlock was like 10 times more nervous about it than she was.
It's got to be weird.
It does got to be weird, especially like that sex scene
Yeah.
because her nipples are right in his face.
Yeah.
I always thought about sex scenes
right
in
there.
movies are one thing, right? Where let's say you're in a sex scene in a movie, and obviously they fit you with those things that go over your junk, so it's not bumping together. But then, like in some movies, there are actual like nipple sucking and stuff.
Yeah.
that's got to be weird. Like there's no way.
That's porn.
Oh no, there's some sex scenes in movies where
There's a little bit.
oh yeah,
A little bit.
titty kissing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't think of any, but I'll agree.
They're out there.
I'm going to say 100% that I recently saw something like a widescreen movie where, and it was probably something from the 80s or something.
You sure it wasn't like a girl and her stepdad or something? Like,
No, oh no, my Pornhub time is separate.
okay.
Okay, I'm gonna, that's my.
There was a broken dryer and she just tried to lean in to fix it.
No, I'm gonna find a sex scene that has actual, because I'll just Google it. What sex scenes have like
Google
titty kissing?
And not you
Sex
can't come
scene
up
with
with
titty
some like
kissing.
80s Cinemax,
no, I'm
nighttime.
talking about.
Yeah, even that,
I'm
though,
talking about
that counts.
There's something.
No, that doesn't count. That's not
If
a
you
regular
can
movie.
find one
That's-
that also
No, but we're not
has
saying it's a regular movie, but
That's
penetration?
softcore porn.
Well, no, I'm not saying penetration.
No, I know. I'm
that's-
saying
that's
like
porn.
find a movie that has titty kissing without penetration in it.
That's what I'm talking about. I
Right.
know that.
I
there
don't
have been.
think it did. I don't know.
All right.
well, we're going to have
All right,
to hit the
well,
Googles.
Oh, okay, but like top. I shouldn't. I'm not trying to do this on myself. Front, like
Nipple kissing,
Okay,
like
nipple
nipple
kissing,
kissing.
All right.
Yeah.
It's the third time nipple has come out.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say, like I don't know why I was trying to avoid the word nipple because we said it a bunch of
Yeah,
times.
it's
already.
okay, Laura. Feel free.
You can say nipple on the show.
You could say nipple on the show. We just had you look up full bush on your phone.
Yeah.
So, and we didn't make
And
you
I'm
do
still
that.
looking at it.
Yeah.
I'm still scrolling.
Yeah. It's interesting.
There's
It's,
a lot of
That's a
it.
lot of bush.
there is a lot of bush.
I'm just gonna say the word nipple randomly.
Nipple.
That's fine.
Nipple.
All right, let's get through the rest of this because there's so many.
There's no way you have
unnecessary-
more cast. There's no way you have more cast.
There's at least 5 more, but I'm only going to
no,
do
no,
two.
no.
I'm going to do 2 more.
one. Well, let's cut it at 1.
Nobody knows any of these people.
Yeah.
More. Pamela Matheson
Oh,
as
thank God we got her in.
Mrs. Carlin, the mother.
Okay, let's
the
talk about
fucking
that.
weird hair-eating mother who doesn't speak. And what's the point of her character? To show that
I don't know.
They
Shunting
needed somebody
can
to
go
put
wrong,
a lot
maybe?
of facial makeup on.
Yeah.
And they were like, her.
Yeah.
She's
I
a large she looks like she was on Glow like back in the 80s.
Yeah.
Like, she was definitely
Yeah.
a Glow wrestler. I wouldn't be surprised if her bio was she was a Glow wrestler.
she was in Police Academy too.
She could have been married to Captain Lou Albano. I'm not
Yeah.
positive.
She seemed very divine inspired.
Laura, I 100% thought that. I thought
Yeah.
Divine is in this movie, even though Divine was probably dead by like 5
It's a
years.
strange character.
Yeah.
Because she really adds no value to
And
the
she
movie.
looks nothing like her daughter.
No.
And
And
she
she doesn't
just-
look
there's no
old enough to
similarity.
be her daughter's mother.
Right.
Did she eat
She
Shauna?
looks like an older sister.
Like, because Shauna disappears at one point and then she pulls out blonde hair from her mouth.
Yeah,
and I'm
maybe.
Like,
Yeah.
I think she ate Shauna.
Well, 'cause-
Because I don't think we saw Shauna anymore after that.
And at one point, when Billy goes to Devin's house to lay pipe,
yeah.
he says, "Oh, it's something about like that's your mother," and she says something like, "I don't like what she does."
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, this whole movie. Go ahead with your last cast
One
member.
more.
Yeah,
David Wiley as Judge Carter.
Okay.
The dude with the cigar and
that's
the
fair.
shunting.
That's
Yeah.
fair.
He's actually been in a bunch of stuff, actually.
All right, a couple of just interesting factoids, real quick, is that the original script title was The Shunting. I read this on IMDb. I did not research this, and I don't want to research this. 'Cause I think this is just pretty funny. You know how movies have multiple titles, like where it's released in the world.
Sure.
So The Shunting and Society are, and there's one. I think Dark Society or Black Society is in a couple countries.
Oh, wow.
In Thailand, it says that this movie is titled Man Sucks Man. Yeah.
Oh, I've seen that movie.
Wow.
before.
Yeah.
I haven't.
Yeah. So the original script was, let's see, the original script starts at Bill's arrival at the house after he leaves the hospital. And everything else was a flashback
Yeah.
and then catches you back up to that moment. And they decided to go back in and fill it in.
Right.
So those are just a couple things I thought were pretty interesting. Also, the idea of the original script at the end was that it was a religious cult that was going to sacrifice Bill for religious means, not what we'll get into eventually, which we don't know what the answer is to it either. This movie, man, right? This movie, this is a fucking odd one.
Yeah.
All right, this is an odd one. So we start off with my first question with this movie is it begins with Bill, right? And Bill is going to
Play basketball.
play basketball.
Yeah.
We also get a scene where he's a psychiatrist, and we get a feeling that Bill feels like he doesn't fit in with his family.
Right.
Right. Something is different about his family.
Or is there something different with him?
Right. We don't know.
Yeah, we don't know.
He just seems to be a normal, all-American, good-looking kid
Who's seeing a psychiatrist?
who's seeing a psychiatrist.
Right.
And his family are like these kind of well-to-do, like Laura said, like the father's like American James Bond. He's always in a tux for whatever reason, or like golf
Their
clothes.
house is a mansion.
Their
I
house is
believe
a
I called
mansion.
him
Quite
dreamy
literally.
and handsome.
Would you call him dreamy and handsome?
Yes.
The kid goes to Beverly Hills High
Yeah.
School.
Yeah.
Like, they're rich. They're loaded.
So we start to get he tells his doctor that he's got a feeling that he doesn't fit in, like he thinks he's been adopted and everything. Do you guys think it's weird that this movie starts at this, like, at what point did Bill start to feel that his parents were different? Because it seems like it's just all of a sudden he's
there's no-
16 years
Before
old.
he went to the psychiatrist.
Good job, Lloyd.
Right, but what I'm saying,
It's not like during his first session, like, oh,
no,
shit.
what I mean is like, it just seems like, to me, it seems like, Laura, let me ask you this. Do you think this movie would have been a little bit, and I understand this movie is not going for logic, really, but like, wouldn't it have been better if like, maybe we had gotten to a point where we saw that the parents were replaced by somebody? Because it just seems like Bill's like 16, and now all of a sudden he feels weird in this family. You know what I'm saying? Like,
We don't, but John, we don't know. He could have felt like this for 10 years.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
could be
He could
his
have been
whole
seeing
life.
Dr. Cleveland for Dr.
Yeah.
Cleveland.
Dr.
Is that
Cleveland.
ridiculous?
Dr. Cleveland.
For 10 years. We have no idea how long he's been seeing the doctor. It seems like they've known each other. It doesn't seem like a new situation that he's going to the doctor.
Yeah, there's a I can't say that word. Familiarity.
Familiarity.
Yeah, okay, yes.
That's
Laura, watching your jaw do what it just did.
It like unhinged like a snake eating an
Actually,
egg.
when she said familiarity, her jaw like came out at one point, and then like it was like a typewriter, and then it went
Something
across her
weird
head.
happened with your
I started
teeth.
to shunt.
I'm here for the
Yeah.
shunting.
I really can't say that word, and I don't know why I go to say it so often. But yeah, they knew each other, and there seemed to be a level of comfort
Right.
between
Yeah.
the two of them. Also, it could just be he's a teenager now, and teenagers become disillusioned. I'm not trying to look too deep into like this character building, but
He's good looking. And apparently he's a basketball star, even though they really give us none of that.
They give you none of that. They
Nope.
seem to tell you
Did you
that.
see his license plate is even hoops?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's like they didn't have the budget to have any kind of basketball
He does
scenes.
dunk
Right,
it.
just a
He
little
dunks at the
one-on-one.
beginning, which I'm
Yeah.
calling bullshit on.
Right.
I'm like,
No, he's a
no,
short-
there's no
he's a
fucking
short
chance
guy.
this kid can dunk.
There
But
were-
he dunks in the beginning.
There's no budget for a basketball scene, but there's plenty of budget for multiple debate scenes.
A
Like
lot of debate.
a lot of
scenes.
debate scenes, and
Well, that's not debate. It's they're
He's
running
running-
for class president.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
he also mentions that he is the president of the debate club.
Correct.
yes. Lloyd, let me ask you a quick
Yeah.
question. Going back to the Dr. Cleveland stuff, you go to your shrink, you're laying down there. Do you just feel comfortable enough to reach into his bowl of fruit and have an apple? Are you cool with that?
At this point, yeah, I think he has this familiarity with Dr. Cleveland.
Are we just
and
saying that word to shove it in my face that I can't say it?
And at some point in the past, Dr. Cleveland said, "Go ahead, have a nice fruit.
Have a green apple.
yeah, have a green apple, have a pear
Out of my giant.
out of this giant fruit bowl because it's all going to rot, you know."
All right. So, and I'm not bringing this up to be a bitch because in the last movie we recorded tonight, there was a lot of questions about the rules.
Yeah.
Why? So we learn later what's going on with everything. We'll get to that. But why is it when Bill eats the apple, he sees worms in it?
I really have no idea.
I don't get that. Larry, do you understand that?
Just added in for effect.
Okay.
There's no logic.
What is it?
Oh no, I can't tell you.
You can't tell me. Okay.
Wait, because it's a secret or you just don't know?
He doesn't
No,
know.
I have no-
He doesn't know.
There's
Okay.
there's just worms. Yeah, it's a plot device.
Yeah.
The whole thing until the end scene, which we got to take some time to.
We'll get there.
to build up.
Yeah, we
to,
could unpack that.
is Bill crazy or not?
Right.
Right. That's what this whole movie is.
Yeah.
Is Bill really nuts? Is he really? Or is something actually going on? Is there something different going on, or is Billy crazy?
Well-
so it's just a plot device. It's to make you as the viewer question whether, hey, maybe this guy is crazy, and that's why he's under the doctor's care, and his family's completely normal.
Yeah, well, exactly. Like pretty much that. You see that he sees the worms in this fruit, and later on, not to skip too far ahead, he sees the contorted bodies.
Right.
That he sees it in one perspective, but then
Right.
when he gets closer or whatever, they're normal. So
Right.
I think that's kind of trying to get us to question his sanity, like
Yeah.
you said. So,
But
yeah.
I mean, it's a common theme, right? Like a movie will give you an hour plus of you debating whether or not somebody is actually sane and the things happening around them are actually happening.
I would have almost preferred if he saw Dr. Cleveland like shunt or do like something weird. It just seems
Well,
like
he
the
sees
worms.
that with his sister like
he
5
does.
minutes
He
later.
does later, but
and that's why they stuck it in there.
right. The worms just seem like odd for me.
It was out of place.
It's an odd choice.
Although, we didn't talk about the cold open, I guess, of this movie with the opening credits.
yeah.
This is bizarre, right? There's like
It's the shunting over the opening credits.
But you get that before you get anything in the movie, so
you
you automatically know.
what it is. You
Yeah,
can't
you
tell.
have no context. You don't know what
You just see
you're
There's
looking at.
like
blobby things
slimy
moving.
sack hanging down.
You don't know why
people
that's
licking
happening
and
yet.
in that great song.
They're just
Eton boat.
Let's just be honest though. Even when we get to the end and we see the shunting, we still don't know what that is, right?
No, there's no.
Like you don't think you walk away from this movie going,
Get it? I get it.
yeah, I totally get this. I was reading, doing my research, and Yuzna said once he decided to start changing things in this movie, like based off the original script, like I said, the script was different. They brought Screaming Mad George in to do
fucking man.
to do these effects, who had been working on. He worked on Predator, Nightmare on Elm Street Part 4. He specifically did the cockroach death scene in that. The Guyver. He did a bunch of stuff. This
Big
movie.
Trouble in Little China.
Big Trouble in Little China.
Spaceballs.
Oh, Spaceballs,
He's
really.
did some work on Spaceballs in the art department.
So he got a lot of leeway to. They almost started changing the story based on his ideas, and his ideas, Lloyd, were based off of what artist and what painting in particular.
A lot of Salvador Dali was mentioned in my research, but the painting, I guess, the plot of this movie was based on his dreams, like a nightmare he had in a movie, in a painting by Dali called The Great Masturbator.
Which, funnily enough, was what I was called in high school. Yeah,
Which is, I mean, did you look up that picture?
I did. It's very bizarre.
It's
It's
there's a
twisty
woman's
and-
body and the man's body, and
Yeah,
it's not slimy or anything, but it's weird shaped, and
it's not shunty.
there's
not shunty, but
there's
it's
a
odd.
like grasshopper suckling on it and a bunch of ants. And
Yeah.
it's bizarre.
Well, Dolly stuff.
Dolly,
Bizarre. Lloyd, I got a question for you. At one point, I don't know, maybe you could explain this to me. Bill comes home and his parents are in their best like golf clothes or like tennis clothes.
Yeah, they are.
I love this scene.
And they're chilling with the gardener who is just like showing them slugs.
Always Asian. Always Asian.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're just hanging out, and I mean the slugs obviously reminiscent of the shunt.
Yeah. Because at the end of the movie, when the shunt happens, again, going ahead a little bit,
Well, what does the father say?
what does he say?
I forget.
This is the best crop ever.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah.
So they're like
Yeah.
they're breeding, growing.
Slugs.
I don't know. It's a crop, and a crop implies that they're meant to be there,
Right.
Which is why they're on a nice crystal plate, and he's showing them like. Let's get. Are these aliens?
No.
I don't think they're
No, they
aliens. I think
specifically say that they're not aliens.
Yeah, I know they do,
They've-
but I don't care what they specifically say. I don't know if I believe these people.
Oh, so it's just a trust issue for you?
It is. I definitely mistrust these
They're
people.
Yes,
Another-
I can't
it's
fault
a-
you for that. No, I don't know why I said that with such attitude.
Yeah, no, I mistrust
you
these
don't
people
trust
fully.
These people.
Fully.
it's some
I
other
don't even
Earth
trust
species
Billy.
we don't know about.
Yeah.
Well, there are species that existed on Earth as long as humans did.
Yep.
They're just a different species.
It's like Homo shuntificus or
Yes.
something.
I like that. That's
Yeah.
good. That's good.
Yeah. And I think they leave it up to you to decide in the end.
They do.
So Bill starts to see weird things. He sees worms in his fruit. At one point, this dude is he's cool. He's popular. He's going to the beach. He needs to get some suntan lotion. He's
Yeah.
got to borrow it from his sister, as you would.
Yeah.
He goes into her like really like the deepest, dankest parts of her bathroom.
Right. Walks past the suntan lotion.
Right.
It's right fucking
It's
there.
right there.
Yeah.
And we start to get the idea that like Bill might want to see his sister naked.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't blame him.
Don't blame him. And also,
Well,
It's
So,
all the
I
stuff
don't know.
on
Look,
Pornhub.
it is. It's you know what it is. It's it's all. This,
I had a younger sister, and I never had any desire to
that's
see
why I
that.
wanted
Is
to
this
clarify.
a normal thing?
No,
no,
it's not.
No. But I think
But if she wasn't my sister, then yes, I
Oh,
would.
yeah.
for sure.
And I think Bill, I don't think he's the one that wants to see her naked, but she definitely wants to show him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, because she does the whole thing. Like,
There's moaning.
there's moaning, she's making noises,
Well,
and then
so he opens the bathroom door and sees that she is in the shower.
he sees through the frosted glass.
Right.
And Laura, what does he see?
Front butt.
Front butt, and definitely bigger titties than this actress
Oh,
has.
yeah, those
Yeah.
are not her tits.
They
I kind of
super-
took it more as
Because
she
we-
had boobs on her back.
Oh no,
No,
that's
it's
no,
kind
no.
The
It
way
was,
she was bending, that's what it looked like.
It's definitely from face to waist, the
All right.
front of her body.
and then her
Yeah.
ass and legs are backwards.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because we literally
Either
just
way.
saw her bra, like in the beginning scene, like the first time
Oh,
we
she's
see
she's
her.
A cup.
Yeah.
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 Nothing wrong with.
No,
Like-
No,
no.
there's just continuity issues.
Yeah, yeah. Well, but
Well, is it
I
a
don't-
continuity issue or is she blowing them up?
Maybe.
Yeah, because there's a
I didn't think of
there's
it
a
like
scene
that.
were her back is bubbling, right? So maybe
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
later.
like the
Yep.
and it's like wet.
yeah, it is. It's always, everything's
There's a
wet.
lot
Oh,
of
he
moisture.
says you're
It's a very
damp.
moist movie.
Well, the movie is damp. The whole movie's damp.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
we all,
even
we all
Billy's
walk away.
damp.
We're kind of damp after watching
Yeah,
it.
even Billy's damp. He's walking around, with his I don't know. He's got jams on, maybe, or
Yeah.
some mid, late '80s short wear.
Basketball
Oh, yeah,
shorts.
for
Yeah.
And he's shirtless, and he's definitely misty. He's been misted. He's
Certainly.
Certainly. There's a lot of wet people in this movie.
So he starts seeing weird stuff like this. And as the film is kind of going along, we get this guy, what's his name, Chandler or
Chandler Bing,
not Chandler Bing.
talking about
Handler bomb.
The boyfriend?
Mr. Chandler Bong.
Yeah, the ex-boyfriend.
It's Belvedere, not Belvedere.
Not
Blanchard.
Belvedere.
Blanchard. thank
Blanchard.
you.
Blanchard.
Blanchard, who in
Belvedere is the butler.
if you've ever seen the show How I Met Your Mother, in How I Met Your Mother, there's a discussion about the Reacher Settler. Do you know what that is? That's where like one person in a relationship is not like nearly as good looking as the other. So the reacher is the person who's reaching for the hot person, and the settler is settling for. Blanchard should not have ever been with
No
his
way.
sister. No way.
No.
Blanchard looks almost like a less fat version of Francis from Pee Wee's
Yes,
Big
he
Adventure.
does.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
Yeah.
Yes, he does.
So he
Who was also in Teen Wolf.
no Teen Wolf. All right. So
I can imagine him shunting
yeah, Francis.
with Pee Wee Herman.
Do you want to imagine that, or it's in your head, isn't it?
I can't stop it now.
So Blanchard comes to Billy and tells him, "I got to talk to you. Right? I have some interesting stuff you've got to hear. Master, what? So he opens up this fucking briefcase.
So he's on the beach at this point, right?
They're on the beach, and he's like,
he, like,
let's go
knocks
under
him over.
let's go under the boardwalk,
Right,
And
under the
Let's go under the
boardwalk.
boardwalk and let me show you what's in my
Down by the
briefcase.
sea.
yeah,
And so he tells Billy that, yeah, I bugged, your house, your sister, the cars, everything. And this is what I heard. He plays him back a tape, and it's the mother and father and sister, and they're talking about this orgy, basically, that they had.
yeah. Was it first we eat, then we copulate? Is that what-
First we dine, and then copulation.
First we dine.
yeah,
Dine is
So
fancier than
yeah,
age.
we'd skipped that. We'd skipped that. The daughter had her coming out party.
Right, that's
right.
right.
And this was a recording of events
party.
at that coming out party.
Yeah, like a
The coming out
debutante
party,
ball.
which
He had bugged
Billy
her
was not
earrings.
invited to.
Right. Billy is not invited to a lot.
Yeah.
But he had to go to his basketball game and then his master.
Sure. Well, he
debate.
Yeah.
is. He is hoops after all.
He is.
Also further explains his alienation from his family.
Yeah. Yeah. We also haven't really talked about it, but like when we originally meet the family, Billy certainly is alienated from them, and the mother, father, and sister are too fucking close. Right?
Oh, God. Yeah.
There's a lot of
It's
like
so incestuous.
There's a scene where the father is giving the daughter a rub.
And they're all like half naked.
I
Yeah.
think she's just in a bra, or
Yeah.
or maybe she's got like a small robe on, but those shoulders are
and
definitely.
they're on like
Yeah,
too
and
much.
she's enjoying a shoulder rub
Yeah,
from
yeah.
her dad way too much.
yeah,
Right.
And I think they're sitting on a bed.
Yeah, they're all in their parents'
Yeah.
bedroom.
Yeah.
Yep.
But in the beginning, when he's talking to the psychiatrist, he said the psychiatrist says something about like family problems, and Billy responds with, he's like, "Oh, just the usual incest and psychosis."
Right.
Yeah.
So like, I think he kind of doesn't realize it yet, but he knows something.
He knows something's going on.
He knows.
Yep.
He certainly knows. So Blanchard plays
They're
this
also
tape.
all blonde.
They are all blonde,
The
and
mom
he's
has
not.
red
He's got
hair,
real dark
but
hair.
also a redhead and a blonde guy are not going to make like a
Black hair,
Dark-
John Stamos.
yeah.
Stamos, Uncle Jesse.
Yeah.
So Blanchard plays this, and Billy repeatedly beats on him but he gets it. He's like, oh fuck, something's going
Yeah.
on.
Yep.
So he goes to head home, and he has a run in with Turd Ferguson on the beach. He's with his girlfriend. His girlfriend is just very vapid, and Turd Ferguson she wants an invite to Turd Ferguson's big party.
Yep.
And he goes down to talk to Turd Ferguson, and Turd Ferguson is pro Martin, Martin is Billy's opponent in the presidential debate. And he actually says a line that's just like so powerful. He says, Martin was born to lead. And I don't know what the fuck that means, but
Especially because he's like a tiny nerd.
he's a tiny nerd. He's such a fucking nerd. Turd doesn't give him the invite, right? So Billy leaves all like kind of like sad that he didn't get the invite, which is weird because
It's really just for his girlfriend.
he's only doing it for the girlfriend.
Did you notice that group of people had a butler at the beach?
No.
There's a butler attending to these teenagers at the beach. Like, I think he's like wearing like
That
a
tracks.
red vest or something.
Because
Yeah.
one would wear her red vest.
They are at a club. They are at a club, right?
So then, if it's like a country club type thing, then
It
yeah, there
seemed
would
like they were
be.
just on a public beach, though.
It did seem like that.
Albacore Club.
They're at the
by way.
Albacore Club.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
I
right,
guess
'cause
that makes
they
a
even
little
showed
bit
the
more
sign.
sense, but still,
Right.
they have like a man that's.
Manservant.
Laura, if you would, I know that your class can't get in, but if you'd ever like to come as a guest of mine, feel free to come to the Albacore Club.
My class.
your class.
Is it woman?
Just below me. I don't know. It's nothing. I'm not going gender. I'm just going one step below
Okay,
me.
so it's-
You can come and enjoy the Albacore Club. Just don't get the steak sandwich and charge it to the Underhills. Fletch show. So Bill leaves. He goes to go home, and he notices a fucking car crash. That, by the way,
No, wait, doesn't he take it to Cleveland?
He goes to Cleveland first.
Yeah.
Oh, he goes to
Because he wants to
Cleveland.
play the tape with
right,
Cleveland.
right. And
But
Cleveland is.
Cleveland won't let him. Cleveland's like,
Right.
just give me the tape. I'll listen to it overnight, and we'll talk about it tomorrow. And
We
he's
get
like,
the
no,
we
I'm
get the
not.
immediate feeling that Cleveland's in on this.
Oh,
Yes.
sure.
Cleveland's like, no, you just leave it with me, and I'll listen. And fucking Billy won't leave it with him.
No. And is this when he finds the Blanchard
Well,
accident?
he does leave it with him
And
because
he ends up leaving it
Yeah.
with him.
oh,
He's
they
like,
doctor it.
Because he's like, you got to trust me. You
Yeah.
got to trust me, Billy. And he's like, okay, fine. I'll leave you with the fucking tape.
right. So when he comes back, the
Which is
tape is
stupid.
totally doctored and it
stupid.
says, "Yeah,
So stupid.
In the grand scheme, yes, that is stupid.
Yeah.
And yes, on the way home, he comes across the accident.
Have you ever seen an accident scene that's so easy to access? Like,
Yeah,
no,
right.
No, he was literally going through shit that had fallen out of the car that had flipped upside.
He's
like digging around and
he's
stuff.
stepping in the blood that they need to collect. He's just picking shit up, and then finally the cop comes over and he's like, "Dude, like get the fuck out of here."
Yep.
Which it just took too long. He was given way too much time.
And even still, the cop allows him to take shit because he took something.
Yeah.
Cop's just like, fucking take it and go, you little kid.
Who's the next victim we get? It's Martin, right? Is that what the next part we get, or does he go to? He goes. Is this where he?
Well, first he goes back to the doctor.
He goes back to doctor, and the tape has changed.
Tape has changed, right? We talked about that.
And so I think we're a little out of sequence here.
We're gonna
but
be out of sequence.
He calls Blanchard on the phone saying, "I need to get another tape," and that's when he came
Oh,
across.
that's right.
right.
Because Blanchard was going to meet him somewhere, but
Yeah.
he somehow,
Right.
in a one-car accident, flipped his van over onto its hood,
Onto the hood, yeah.
onto the roof.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hard to do.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's talk real quick. We have to go back a little bit because I have to bring the scene up. At one point during his presidential debate,
Are we going to Basic Instinct?
we're going to the Basic Instinct scene.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which
That's fair.
what's her name again?
Consuelo?
Carissa.
Carissa.
I thought it was Consuelo.
Consuela.
Carissa.
Sorry.
Carissa's in the audience, and she's like throughout the whole movie. Every time she sees Bill, she's like, "This is the first time," but she's very enamored with him.
And if you're a wrestling fan, she makes a huge face turn at some point.
She does. Yeah.
She's definitely a heel.
She's certainly a heel. She is a member of what we haven't said what it is yet. We don't know what it is. She's a member of society.
But
we
she's in Turd Ferguson's gang.
She's
and
totally in
they're
Turd
not
Ferguson's
good
gang.
people.
Yeah.
Right. So
Isn't she basically Turd Ferguson's girlfriend?
I got that.
It seems like that at some point.
I don't think she's anybody's girlfriend.
Right.
Yeah.
But
they bang.
I kind of felt like they were maybe not exclusive, but
Right.
together.
So the Basic Instinct bit is he's up on the stage giving his bit about like what he's going to change in the school. And then
Uniforms.
the uniforms. And in Basic Instinct, when Sharon Stone uncrosses her legs and flashes, the Michael Douglas character, it's so fast nobody sees it.
Right.
This chick is
But
just
no
like,
panties on
no
her.
panties. This chick's wearing panties, but she is just fucking legs akimbo.
Maybe
open.
maybe she's not wearing panties and it's just that
It's
bush.
just
You think
black.
that
It could be all black.
It could have been. It could have been that bush for sure. But she's just completely fucking like gaping for him, and he's all fucking
was.
he's all out there, right?
He can't
And-
even speak straight.
But the part that I thought was weird was like, did you notice like people in the audience seemed to know what was happening? Could you tell?
his girlfriend did because
Could
she
you
was
tell?
sitting right down there.
His girlfriend was like 12 rows back.
That's what I'm saying.
Was it that? Oh, I thought she was in the same row,
No,
and just
she was like
looking
12
over.
rows back, and she like looks over and she's like, "Oh my god!"
It seemed like every time they showed that auditorium, it got
okay.
bigger and then smaller.
Yeah.
Like from those shots. And
Yeah.
she's like 12 rows back and she looks over. How the fuck do you see
Is
what
there a
this person's
mirror?
doing?
Is there
Yeah.
a mirror over there?
I don't know. So I wanted to throw that in there. And
And
then
other people are laughing, like they know what's going on.
Yeah.
Like, how do they know that she's showing?
they
him?
know that he's so flummoxed because she's flashing the puss, right? And
Yeah.
I felt that was weird.
Yeah.
He runs into her again. Am I thinking the scene
I
where,
don't-
where,
yeah.
where they bang, right? She just kind of shows up and
When do they bang?
Well, that's later. They bang later.
Yeah, that's after like the party because he does get invited to the party.
Right.
Oh, I know. All right. So
he gets a telegram, they say.
Yeah.
He
And
comes
an
back
actual telegram comes.
Yeah.
from the accident where Blanchard apparently died because they never let you see any of the dead bodies.
Well, you saw Blanchard's at his funeral though.
But then they poked a
They
hole in
poked
his
a hole in
cheek.
his
Yeah.
Yeah, but
and they were like, "That's normal."
yeah, true.
That's just what
when
they do.
when
Yeah.
they took him out of the wreckage, they had him completely covered up, head
Right,
to toe.
right.
You couldn't see it. But then he goes home and sees his family there, and he's like ready to say, "Oh my God, Blanchard's dead! Can you believe it? It's your ex-boyfriend." And they don't give a shit about that.
This
They're
is-
just saying,
They're just
"Hey, you got
massaging each
invited
other."
to Turd Ferguson's party. Aren't you
Yeah.
happy?"
I think this is the scene where they're also massaging the daughter.
Yeah.
So
And
it's,
the daughter, my favorite part of that scene is when she's like, "What are you gonna wear?" And he's like,
Right,
"To
like,
the
what?
funeral?" And she's like, "No, to fucking Turd
To the
Ferguson's
party."
party." I'm like, "Jesus Christ, that dude's dead."
yeah. He still goes though.
Somebody give it. Yeah, he does go to the
He
party.
still goes. I think he wears like
Well, it's Turd Ferguson.
Yeah.
he wears a like a members only jacket.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
yeah.
He borrowed it from Lloyd.
Great. Listen, dude.
There's nothing wrong with the members only
Stupid
jacket.
movie. But greatest line, Shallow Hal. Is that a members only jacket?
You're the last
what are you
member.
like, the last member?
I have a members only jacket and I like it. It's
I'm-
very comfortable.
I'm fairly certain I've told this story before, but like in my 12th grade year, I had a semi-formal.
Yeah.
And I remember, like, I bought, like, a button-up shirt and a tie and, nice, like, slacks or whatever. And I remember my dad was like, before I left, he was like, hold on. And he goes up into like the upstairs closet, you know, like
Where the good stuff is?
where the good stuff is, and he pulls out a gray members only
Oh,
jacket.
gray. I was going to say, was it gray, pale yellow, or black?
It was gray, and he's like that light gray, and he's like, wear this tonight.
Yeah.
And I remember like it had the fucking things on the shoulders.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, all the
Yeah, I
buttons
did.
that you can
Yeah.
snap.
Oh,
and
yeah.
stuff.
Gave you a little fucking squirt of his Old Spice.
Little squirt of the Old Spice.
You're
And
a man now, son.
Yeah,
I will end that story by saying I did not get laid.
100%.
Not at all. Not at all.
I remember my brother went to Spain on vacation. I was like in 7th grade, so that had to be like 85 or 6. And he came back with Drakkar, which had not really hit in the U.S. yet. At 6th grade, you just don't know how much to use, or better yet, not use.
not
Yes, I was in 6th grade when Axe became a thing.
Oh yeah, no,
yeah.
dude, I was
Bunch of
covered
boys
head
about
to
to
toe.
go through puberty.
I went
playing
through
this
my
and that.
brother's Drakkar in like a week.
Drakkar was
Dude
good stuff, man.
fucking heated.
Yeah.
Heated. I was putting on like 18 sprays at a clip before going to school.
I was a big fan of Drakkar, and then in like after high school, like the year after high school, going out with my friends a lot and stuff, and my dad had given me like Stetson, right?
Stetson.
And-
Drakar's much better.
Oh no, it is.
Yeah.
But like, and I love my Drakkar, but it was something new. I also had Cool Water, which
Then
I liked.
Obsession
Cool
came
water
out.
was good.
So fucking like I'd get showered and get ready to go out with my friends, and I would fucking slather that shit on. And my dad was just like, you fucking smell like a whore, man.
Yeah, my father tried to talk sense into me.
I remember
too.
he said to me one time, he said, you want to just wear enough so that when someone's close to you, they can smell it.
Yeah.
He's like, I can smell you across the room. And that's a lesson I think all guys learn at some point. Because I think
Usually
back to
not
those.
until like 29, 30.
Yeah. I think back to those days and I'm like, man, I must have made everybody around me like gag. But then I remember that my friends were the same fucking way.
So you're all just like inhaling cologne.
All
like,
just high on fucking
Especially,
Drakkar.
dude,
being like,
that,
we're so
in
awesome.
those years, like everybody had on either fucking Polo Sport or
Cavaricci
Obsession,
pants.
Eternity, like, and that's all the high school smelled like.
Yeah.
Was like dudes with way too much fucking cologne.
Yeah.
Especially in Notre Dame and Fairfield, way too much fucking. Oh, it was bad. God, it was bad. And it was partly me. I was a contributor to the problem.
Contributor to the fucking stank.
Yep. I don't know how we got there.
You know what I actually discovered fairly recently, and I don't know if any of you guys have ever heard of this. Solid cologne.
What does that
Like
mean?
a stick?
It's like it comes in a tin, and it's like almost like wax cake.
Oh, okay.
And you rub it on and you rub it on. I've got a few of them, and it's actually pretty good.
Yeah,
a lot of them.
That's been a thing for a long time.
Yeah, I didn't know. No,
Solid perfume.
Yeah, I did not know this. I found them on Amazon, and I bought a few different ones.
That's because I don't get intimidated when I go into Ulta.
Yeah. Thanks for that, Laura. All right, let's get back to the leading up to the shunting. So Bill eventually ends up having sex with Consuelo. What's her
I
name
think.
again?
Clarissa.
Clarissa.
Clarissa. She explains it
Clarissa.
all, by the way.
She explains nothing.
They have this sex scene. In this sex scene,
Which
there's-
again is out of the blue because she's a bad guy.
right? But she doesn't mean she's not horny.
Right. And you're right, because the first time they have sex, she's still kind of a bad guy.
Right.
Yeah,
She's still kind of like,
Right. She's not protective of him yet.
Right. But then she does a huge turn and
Yeah.
Right.
fucking.
Well, because she like the first time she had like does the weird body contortion.
That's what I wanted
This
to
is
ask.
what happens, yeah.
they're
Yeah.
in bed together, right?
So-
He's like, what the fuck?
So they get done banging. He gets out of bed, and then he's talking.
He
to her in
rolls
bed.
out of bed because he sees her,
backwards.
I don't know, her hand coming around her own
while they're
shoulder.
fucking, that's
while they're
right.
fucking, yeah.
Yeah, her hand somehow, you have to see it to understand it. She's on top of him. Laura's doing a pretty good job with it. She's on top of him, and all of a sudden, like either a third hand or one of her hands comes around in a way that shouldn't come around, and it
Right.
freaks him out. He gets out of bed, and then when he looks, Lloyd, what does he see?
So she's laying facing him, and her legs are also facing him. Like her feet are bent in a direction toward him, which just looks so peculiar. When you first see it, you're like, is there something wrong with this position? I'm not quite sure. And then it goes away. And he says, you kind of look like you had a funny position. I love the line. And she's like, oh, you're so sweet.
Yeah, she.
That like made no sense.
That's
but
so sweet.
but I don't know. When I rewatched that and I sort of paused it, I'm like, oh, they clearly just have another girl
It was
behind
it
her.
was a friend of hers
Yeah.
who was on set helping out and probably was honestly not to sound
But it
like
was a
dick.
great effect.
It was
I mean,
probably
it was-
some playmate or something, someone in really good
Yeah,
shape,
right.
and they just had her lay the other way on the
The other
bed,
way behind her.
behind her. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was a very, very practical effect. So now he's boned down on her. And also we got to mention, I mean, it's not important to the plot. It's kind of like this really stupid plot thing, but he keeps on getting all kinds of weird, like a shrunken head in his locker.
Oh, right.
He gets like a Frankenstein doll with a screw through the head or
No, it's
something.
just like
Yeah,
a
what the
Ken
hell was-
doll.
Was it
Yeah.
Ken doll?
It looked like a bar,
A
like
Ken doll with a screw.
Yeah.
which I don't even understand
Yeah, I-
still.
Well, and then he gets a
didn't get
sex
that.
doll
it's a
Yes.
weird, a weird threat.
in his Jeep,
Yeah.
right? Because he drives like a Jeep
And the
Wrangler.
blow up doll had the Ken doll in its mouth.
Right.
Yeah,
And the
did.
blow up doll was labeled Clarissa,
Clarissa.
and Billy was on the Ken doll.
Right,
Yeah.
and Shauna saw it.
And then eventually we learn, get to this part. It's his friend Milo.
Yeah.
And it's just because he feels
messing
like
around with him.
you haven't been paying attention to me.
Yeah.
Right? So that was a little odd. but-
Strange, very strange.
So much of this movie doesn't matter. The only
No.
thing that matters is the last 15 minutes.
Yeah.
But Shauna discovers him. So when he's banging Consuela, Shauna's outside, right?
Oh, with some other random
With
girl.
some random girl who
Yeah.
is just in that scene. Like you never.
Well, no, her friend sees him talking to Clarissa at the party before.
Oh,
they
is
go
that how it
outside.
happened?
Right,
Like
right.
like she's giving like them the stink eye. And
It's
she
a very
walks
important
away.
chain of
Thank
events.
God.
And
So
that's how they
she's-
know that he's at her house.
Right. So she's outside fuming because she's positive that they're banging.
And she's right.
She was right, yeah. And then she goes to the house the next day and she gets out there as he's removing the fucking blow-up
blow-up doll.
from his
Is that-
hoopsmobile.
When they bang, is that the first time we see her mother, right? With the hairball?
Yeah, her
No,
mother comes in.
or is that later?
I think we see her mother at the beach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, her mother just stares at Billy on
She
the
runs
beach.
into Billy on
Oh,
the
that's
beach.
right.
Yeah, and just stares.
They run into each other, and she's got the suntan lotion on her face. Yeah.
And we didn't talk about it. At the beach, the kids fucking spray the lotion all
yeah.
over them.
Yeah.
And for some reason, the kids are wearing like Ultimate Warrior makeup. Did you
didn't
notice
even
that?
notice that.
Yeah, full on Ultimate Warrior makeup. I'm like, Jesus Christ, this is weird. Like,
that should be the slogan, the tagline for this movie.
Jesus Christ, this is
Society,
weird.
the poster with the weird girl
Yeah.
taking her face off, and the other guy, and then just Jesus Christ, this is weird.
That's a decent tagline.
What did I just watch?
What?
Decent tagline. Yeah. So Shauna figures out that that they're banging, and then I don't know. Then Shauna sees Consuela's mom somewhere, and then later Consuela's mom has blonde hair in her mouth.
Yeah.
And I don't think we ever see Shauna again, so I still think she ate her.
You're very. I don't know anything about what's going on with Consuela's mom.
I don't understand.
I don't get it.
No, I don't.
Yeah, she comes and breaks up with her in the acid wash jean dress.
Yeah.
I also 100% don't understand how. Again, we mentioned it earlier. How the woman who plays Consuela's mom is playing her mom. She's younger than her, I think, or the same age. You know, it's
And
like
huge.
she is big.
she's
Very big. She's a
larger.
big girl.
Very
Yeah,
large.
she's
a
just
big girl.
she's just
This
a
time
big.
they're dictating parents by who's the larger person.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
The
She's
smaller
big. She's a big woman. She looks like if you. Oh God, there's a movie in my head that
It's like someone out of Hairspray.
there was like a
Divine. Yeah.
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 yeah, it's like a fucking like a mud wrestling scene, and she's like beating up on dudes. Like,
Oh, planes, trains, and automobiles.
Yeah.
is that from
Maybe
Planes?
maybe that one.
That might be what I'm thinking of. Yeah, that's like what I think of her as. Or
Glow,
like-
as you said. Yeah.
yeah. Or like reform school girls, like the fucking matron of the fucking
Like the
prison.
warden.
Yeah, exactly. Or rock and roll high school fucking warden. Like
She's definitely a whole bit is
He
weird.
never says a whole word.
Nothing.
not a
movie.
word, nothing.
Nothing.
Just once in a while, pull some hair out
Well,
of her mouth.
did any okay? So I
And
know
she tries to eat Milo's hair several times.
Yeah, she's
and at
really
the end,
into
like,
it.
he
And then
yells-
he's like,
he yells,
"Great idea, you're gonna
Mrs.
be my date."
Carlisle, hair, and then she grabs that guy's
Yes.
hair, and it's like a wig, and she's all disappointed.
Yeah. What is
Yeah, I wasn't. So I've only seen this movie once before when Larry showed it during the pandemic on the watch parties, and those were awesome to do. But they're not really conducive to really paying attention to a movie because you're
Right.
making jokes and having a good
We're
time.
just trying to be funny.
Just trying to be funny and see who's the funniest one there. By the way,
right?
most of the time it was Laura. Laura was fucking very funny.
Yes, it was.
But like, so as I'm watching it this time for the first time, really since then, I was like, is there going to be a zombie angle? Is her mother a zombie? No, she's just George the Animal Steel with a vagina. Like,
Yeah.
there's nothing is going on there. All right, let's skip ahead a little bit. Things have just been continuously getting weird. How does Billy end up in the hospital? What happens there?
So, well, there's the whole. What's the nerd kid again? The
Oh,
Petrie?
Martin.
Yeah, Petrie.
Martin Petrie. Yeah.
So there's the whole
that's right.
angle
He was
where
gonna
he
meet him.
finds him dead, quote unquote,
Oh yeah, I forgot.
in the woods.
He
Right.
claims that he knows about what's going on.
Yeah, he's like, hey, meet me in the fucking woods. I got to tell you about this. I got to tell you something, which again makes no sense really because
No.
he's actually in on it.
Right.
But he's like, meet me. I got to tell you. And then he finds his car in the woods. I like that his car's like in the woods, like down an embankment, and he's just calling for him like it's normal that
Yeah.
his car is down in the woods in an embankment. And then he finds what looks like him with his throat slit in the car.
Right.
Right. So then he runs away. And meanwhile, his friend Milo is watching this happen. He's
Yeah.
like parked on the side of the road watching it.
Milo's always watching.
Milo likes to watch.
Milo's watching. Milo does like to watch. Probably forming some other doll to fucking plant somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then so Billy comes back with cops. He does the right thing, goes and gets the cops, and the cops find that now the nerd's car is gone. The nerd's gone, but there's a station wagon in its place. Not a station wagon. It's like
Like
a
a
Cutlass.
sedan, like a
Yeah,
big
some
old
kind
boat.
of-
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's like, I don't know where this came from. I don't even know what this car is. I don't think we even know what that car is. It's just another
No.
random car
Yeah.
in its place. And and then the cops are like, hey, if we fucking see you again, it's going to be trouble. I'm like, why? Why is it trouble? Like,
Because that was the same cop that kicked him out of Blanchard's crash scene too.
Yeah. Yeah.
oh, was
Yeah.
it?
They said, like, what do you say? Like, this isn't a garage sale
Yeah.
or something?
Yeah. Hey, kid.
Somebody's awful busy behind the scenes all over this movie, and it never gets explained. Like
Yeah.
you never get any kind of closure on any of that. stuff.
Let's be fucking honest about this movie, right?
It doesn't matter. None of it matters.
Let's be frank. All right. This whole movie
It's a build-up.
is a build up
Yeah.
to the last 15 minutes.
Yeah, and that's it.
And the point of this whole movie
Was for that last
is to
15
keep you guessing as to what's happening and never really get real answers because when it does happen, nothing's answered.
Right.
No.
It just becomes an effects heavy
Yeah.
set piece that is it lives up to its
They
reputation.
dreamed up this crazy fucking sequence that we will talk about shortly.
Yeah.
And then said, okay, what can we write that'll lead us to this sequence?
Right.
And again, it's a very typical tale. You take your lead.
Very
It's a
typical.
very
Until-
typical tale.
Well, I mean,
It's a tale as old as time.
not the. You remember that old children's song from the sea? No, it's just that plot device. Is our main character crazy or not?
Right.
And that's what it is. They said it's a very, very common trope. Is my main character insane or is something really happening? So they do that for an hour and 10 minutes.
And then, yeah.
And then
the shunting.
yeah, and you know,
shunting.
and once in a while they sprinkle in fucking Consuela's big mom.
Yeah.
And
I love the mom. I know it makes no sense. And
Yeah. what do you love
It's-
about her?
I love her presence. I love that she doesn't speak.
Mm-hmm.
I love how she communicates with her eyes and her looks. And how she's just there.
And how she eats hair.
Eats hair.
How does she get around?
I still think she ate Shauna.
Yeah.
Like full.
yeah.
I
blown.
did
I
not
think she
think about
ate
that
all
till
of
you
Shauna.
guys said that, but I think you're 100%.
I don't
No,
think
yeah,
we
that
see.
didn't even occur to me,
I don't think
yeah.
we ever see Shauna again after.
No.
Right.
No.
And then
No.
it's just blonde hair in her mouth, and I'm like, she fucking ate her.
Yeah.
That's poor Shauna.
Yeah.
I like that we know that she likes hair, but we don't know why she likes to eat hair.
No, we don't know
And
why
maybe
she
that's why
talks.
she doesn't speak.
We don't know, again, like John said, how she is the Playboy Playmate's mom.
Right.
There's a whole lot of.
Like, what does she do?
I'm not even weirded
Where's
out.
Dad?
Yeah, it's mostly the age thing. There's no way that she's old enough to be
And I don't like what she does. That's what Consuela says about her mom.
well, because
What do you mean? The
I can
hair?
tell-
Maybe it's the eating the hair, because that's the only thing that she does.
it's the
But is
shunting
it?
in
Or
total.
does she eat whole people?
It's the shunting in total.
That girl didn't shunt at all.
I don't think she
Consuela
shunted.
never
not
shunted.
that we saw.
Consuela, I think, was abstaining against shunting.
That's right.
Now I'm writing this because they don't
So-
tell you this in the movie.
Maybe her mom shunts and she doesn't like
Yeah.
that.
All right. You know what?
Okay.
We've talked enough about this movie.
But if her
Yeah.
mom shunts, then her mom would have been invited to the shunting party.
let's just
I would-
let's
yeah,
just get
it's
to the
so fucked
shunting
up.
party.
Okay.
We're there.
So Bill ends up in the hospital. He escapes.
He escapes from the hospital.
Dr. Cleveland drugs him. They drive him to the hospital. He gets out of there and then goes to the shunting.
Goes to the shunting. He's got a.
Well, he's not going to the shunting. He's going back to his house.
Right.
But
Right.
that's
He
where it
wants to
is.
confront. He's figured out finally. I'm not crazy. My parents are fucking nuts. I'm going to fix them. I'll fix them.
I'll fix you.
Yeah. So that's what
Yeah.
he does. He goes back to the mansion to fix his parents and stumbles into a giant party, a
Big
soiree.
old party, a soiree. The judge is there, right? Dr. Cleveland's
The
there.
judge is introduced like fucking royalty.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, like everybody.
Dr. Cleveland seems to be second in charge.
Yeah, the
I would
judge,
think.
I think, is like the head dude in charge,
Yeah, and then Dr.
Dr. Cleveland is like the facilitator.
Yeah.
second banana.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And
he's
Dr.
second banana.
Cleveland has a weird Joker smile.
He does. He looks
Yeah.
like Jack Nicholson's Joker.
Yeah.
He does exactly.
In the scene where Jack
the
Jack Napier's
makeup.
wearing the makeup over the
Yeah,
makeup,
the flesh makeup.
the flesh makeup, he looks like that.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Where does he get these wonderful toys?
All right, so Laura, what's happening here? What's the shunting?
Oh God.
Oh, how do I describe this shot?
Well, it doesn't. They don't shunt right away.
no,
Oh,
but-
before the shunting starts,
Yeah.
Yeah.
there's a scene with Dr. Cleveland and the mother and Jenny, and they're talking about how great it's going to be, and Dr. Cleveland starts
Feeling her
caressing
boobs. Feeling
her
Jenny's
breasts
boobs.
right in front of the mother.
Well, I mean, I
and
don't-
it's so fucking disturbing to watch this.
What's more disturbing is so right before the shunting begins, the mother, father, and daughter go to fuck in another room.
Yeah, they go.
They're like, oh, let's go in the other
wait.
room or shunt.
Are they fucking?
They're. Let's get there, Laura.
There was two creatures once they got into the room.
Yeah.
we find out that Bill is going to be the guest of honor of something called the shunting.
Yes.
But before Bill's like the main, he's like dessert.
Yeah.
We're going to have the main course. And in a very creepy, I thought this was a very creepy scene, they bring a male human out and he's in one of those neck restraints like you
Yeah.
have a dog on. He's got I pictured as this happened, I literally thought bring out the gimp.
Yeah.
And he's got like this white thing over his head and he comes out and then we find out it's fucking Blanchard.
yes.
And Blanchard gets kind of put down in front of like the sectional couch. And all of a sudden, the shunting begins. Explain as best as you can, Laura, what the fucking shunting and what this whole movie has been leading up to.
Okay. Well, when a man and a woman really love each other, they so it just seems like this species that we are not sure what they completely are derive sexual pleasure from literally inserting themselves into each other.
Yeah.
And,
They liquefy.
And not like in like a penetration way, more of like a mitosis way or something.
The
like,
faces she's
like-
making, it makes me wish this was a
Well, I'll
video
tell you,
podcast.
that guy's hand definitely penetrated.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
the butt.
ass.
Like when they're putting it on the butt, and then like they get these like sucky faces.
Yeah, like
Oh, yeah,
almost
the
like
what's that called?
duck face.
Hibiscus, like
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and they're like different parts, and like they can insert limbs into other orifices, and they can go through the entire body.
Yep.
Lindsay was watching this part and said, what are they doing? And she said, are they eating him? And I said, they're absorbing him.
Yes.
It's not, the shunting is like, it's sexual for sure. Because
Yeah.
they're all
Yes.
getting off. And there's a lot of like,
Oh, they're really
There's
getting
a lot
off.
of
there's a lot of
Everybody-
moaning and there's a lot of
Very
like, I
happy.
guess what you would consider their version of cum. Because everybody's covered in like this
Oh, like-
clear
It's
like
just this
petroleum jelly kind of thing.
petroleum
Yeah.
jelly.
Yeah, it's very slippery in there.
Very slippery. And it's just happened this whole room. I guess the way they did it was they had holes in the floor and they had like the puppet operators underneath. Because the one scene where it becomes like a big shunt is just a bunch of people, puppeteers, moving these fucking weird.
slimy
limbs and
it's
shit.
like they're all merging.
So everybody is like going in on Blanchard, and the judge is like all fucking psyched. And the judge,
He's very excited.
he's very
so
excited,
happy.
and he's like, no offense to him,
That's
but
how can he be smoking?
You can,
a
you,
cigar?
got a
you
big
can
stogie.
offend the judge.
Okay, I'll offend the judge.
I don't think we need to worry about his feelings.
this is a
right
guy we don't want to see in his boxers and doing the stuff he does, but. You know, he gets all excited because he sees Blanchard has a beauty mark, and
Yeah.
then
Oh,
does he bite his ear off? And then he brings hair out.
He does something.
Yeah, he bites some hair off, and he
There's a lot of slurping.
There's a lot of slurping, and then he says the words, "Let's get to the bottom of this." And Lloyd, what does that mean?
so when he says, "Let's get to the bottom of this," so Blanchard is lying down on his back in front of him, and he's got a lot of people around him, and the judge just takes his arm and his fist, and he goes right up the crotch, straight up through his body. His fingers come out of his mouth and eyes.
This is incredible effect, by the way. Yeah,
and,
all this
you know,
is incredible.
His eyes pop out, the thumb comes out of the mouth, the two fingers come out of the eyeballs, and he just starts swishing and pulling it around, and it's just disgusting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And other people
lot
are
of
now
noises.
like getting involved and like eating eyes and like all
Oh
kinds
yeah,
of
like I feel like there's like one eyeball that just kind of passes.
yeah,
couple
yeah,
Yeah.
There's
people.
a couple different
I'm
people.
like-
They
so
don't
they're just
necessarily
sucking on it. They're
chew
not
it. They're
even
just
eating,
sucking
like-
it and passing it on.
We realize as we're watching this scene as well that this is what we saw in the opening credits that you couldn't make out because in the opening credits there's no context.
very close up.
End up seeing that exact scene
Because we were
Yeah.
innocent during.
We,
the
we were
opening.
we were all still kids.
Yeah.
We were
right.
babies.
But yeah, so there seem to be like a lot of old people here.
Yeah, they're
right.
mostly old.
Mostly old people. There's
Except for
old
Turd Ferguson.
Turd Ferguson is
Yeah.
like the champion of the whole thing. And then eventually Billy, I think, gets out of his restraints and gets
and
away.
the bait nerd is there too, alive.
Oh,
He
yeah,
did
Mark-
not-
That's right. He
Martin-
showed up,
yeah,
even
he
though he
did
had
not
his throat
die.
cut.
Martin is part of the
Yeah.
the whole idea there.
So Billy goes upstairs.
Billy goes upstairs. He goes into the room with his parents and sister who are in bed together
Well, he got chased into the room.
by the doctor.
Dr. Cleveland is chasing him around with what's he got? He's got the
He's got the
Poker?
Is it the
or-
neck thing?
neck thing. I think.
Oh, yeah,
he's
he's got
trying to
that.
catch him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
he's
like a
trying to catch
fucking.
him.
It's like a Looney Tunes cartoon.
Yeah, and he's having a good time. He's got
Yeah.
that big crazy Joker smile. And then Billy runs into the room where his parents and sister are. In quotes, parents and sister. Because they're not really his
Yeah.
parents and sister.
Well, here's the thing: they're not his parents and sister. They adopted him, but like, are they related?
no fucking idea.
It's still gross
They're
no
all-
matter
I
what.
They're all
don't think
blonde.
it matters in their species
Yeah.
if they're related.
They're all, I don't even know if
So you're saying they're from Kentucky?
Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
not sure if
Yeah.
these people can actually procreate. I have no idea if
Yeah.
they can even have kids. I don't.
But also, why did they adopt a regular
Stamos?
human child?
Well, they said earlier. They said the judge says something about the whole.
it was all leading.
It was leading to this. Like they brought him up for us. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So it was
okay.
like he was a
Gonna be a
sacrifice.
great addition to society.
It does seem weird that they've waited like 16 years to get around to this, but
Yeah.
Right.
so when he finds the mom is like all fucking like giant arms for legs.
Yeah.
Yes.
And she's
But like
walking-
man arms.
Man
Like,
arms.
Yeah.
And big man arms.
Big
Big,
man arms.
really
Yeah.
a lot bigger than the dad had.
Yeah.
Right. And
Like,
then
you want a hug
Big
from those.
fucking hands.
Yeah.
Like
then the sister's head pops out from under like the blankets.
Yeah.
But then we get to the really weird part. He continuously calls his father butthead throughout this movie.
Yeah.
Laura, describe what we see.
See, his dad's head is where his butthole should be.
Yeah.
But like his whole head, and like he's really happy about it. He's
He-
really happy to be like a butt, and he's smiling and he's making jokes, and it's just it's the best.
and he's
part.
blowing
making-
Don't forget he's blowing raspberries.
Yes, he
Right.
blows the raspberry.
Yeah.
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 Yes, he is.
Yeah. There's people listening to this podcast who have never heard of this movie, and they're literally going, they're making this up.
And he's still
If you're listening to this podcast and you haven't seen this movie, that's a problem.
Yeah.
You should have
We,
probably
we should have said in the front, pause, go watch the movie, then come back.
Yeah, that's all right. We never do. And I think if people want to go check it out, they'll check it out. It is on
Shutter.
Shudder. That's
Oh,
where
is
I
it
saw
on Shudder?
It is on Shudder.
Oh.
Yep.
I bought it.
Oh,
I didn't
I-
realize it was on
I
Shudder.
own it.
Oh, I would have bought it. I just
Yeah.
didn't have time.
So he runs out of the room, and they subdue him again, right? I think they capture him
Is
again.
that before or after the doctor's head turns into a giant hand?
That
God.
happens right
The-
before he goes
Oh, that
into
was
the
so weird.
bedroom. with
Yeah.
the
Oh,
family.
okay.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah,
Yeah,
his
yeah.
head is all of a sudden just a giant fucking
Yeah,
hand.
and it's doing the same thing that his actual hand
Yeah,
is
his
doing.
hand.
Right.
But like, how does he do that?
Yeah,
That's cool. Like, why haven't they been doing stuff like that the entire
Mm-hmm.
time?
right.
So he gets back down, and then all of a sudden it becomes a fight challenge.
Yeah, he has to fight Turd Ferguson.
He's like, he's like, I'm gonna, I don't remember why.
I don't know why. They don't really tell you why.
Doesn't
and
matter.
it doesn't seem like the stakes are, well, if you beat Turd Ferguson, you can leave. And also Milo and Clarissa Consuela, whatever her name is,
Yeah.
have shown up to kind of seemingly help him
Yeah.
get out. So he ends up with this. They're gonna have a fight. Him and Turd Ferguson fight. We're gonna fight, and it's not going his way. Right? He's getting
Turd
his,
Ferguson is obviously
yeah, he's doing a number.
some
yeah.
sort of martial arts expert.
not just a martial arts expert, but he's a member of Homo Scientificus. So
Yeah, sure.
he's probably a little bit more powerful. And I use the word "but" accordingly.
Yeah.
Turd Ferguson doesn't expect the what Billy's going to do to him. I don't remember. How does he get the upper
So
hand?
he waits because
Literally.
Yeah, the lower hand.
yeah, something has to happen. Like, Turd Ferguson comes into Billy's mouth, and he starts sucking on Billy's mouth.
He starts shunting because they start
he
getting
starts
duck
the
face
shunting.
together.
So at that point, Billy realizes that like the liquefaction
It's starting.
and it's a prime opportunity,
Right.
to do the whatever they call that move.
Right,
So
because
yeah, I guess when you start shunting, you get soft.
you get soft.
Yeah.
Because
Your entire body just gets soft.
Yeah.
because he
Makes sense.
grabs Turd Ferguson's arm,
Right,
and
twists
he
it
twists
around.
it, and it's got like this. It looks like a balloon arm, right? It's like sitting up here.
It does.
But then as he's doing that, and you see the panic in Turd Ferguson's face, he does that.
does that.
Which at that point, Lindsay was like, "What the fuck?" And then he goes, and Laura, how does he take care of Turd Ferguson?
He shoves his fist up into his body from the crotch area.
It's the asshole. I think he goes right
Is
up in
it
the ass.
Okay,
Right up to the
I
ass.
guess that makes sense.
Yeah. So Billy just shoves his entire fucking arm up into Turd Ferguson's ass.
Right.
And then in one fucking swift move, kind of hooks him from the eyeballs in the back.
Yeah.
And then fucking pulls him inside out.
Yeah.
Pulls his head.
Oh yeah, and there's
out
like
of his
worms
ass.
on the
Yeah,
inside
it looks like
of
there's
him.
hair.
Yeah.
It's I'd have to pause it
Are
to
they
get
just
more.
like really? Everybody likes hair in this movie.
Yeah.
They're just full of hair and worms. Oh, well.
So he pulls Turd Ferguson inside out, and like all the shunters have kind of like uncome from the shunting
Yeah, they're
to
like-
watch this.
Oh, and they say, and then you hear a voice in the background, "Don't touch him until he congeals."
Oh, I didn't hear that.
You hear that?
yeah,
it's a
The
good
only
line.
thing I noticed was earlier in the movie there was a comment made by the judge where he told Turd Ferguson that he was gonna make him like an intern in Boston or something.
Yeah.
And then after Turd Ferguson get pulled inside out, the judge says to somebody else, goes, "Looks like we're gonna need another intern in Boston." And then Clarissa and Milo come in. We get that Clarissa seems to be in love with Billy.
Yeah.
And they escape, and that is literally the end of fucking society.
They don't defeat anybody. They just get
They leave.
away
Well,
from
Well,
it.
they
Yeah.
defeat Turd.
But the
Yeah.
society isn't
Turd
going to
is
change.
inside
But
out.
they're
Yeah.
just gonna replace him with somebody else.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
Ferd Turgeson.
And you
We'll
gotta figure that if there's that society in Beverly Hills,
They're all over.
It's all over the place.
Yeah.
Right. There's shunting. There's shunting is just going on everywhere.
Yeah. So this is a Scary Larry's House of Horrors Halloween special, and there's certain things we do on these episodes, and one of them is, and there aren't a lot in this one, but one of them is favorite kill time, kids.
Officer Hawkins, tell me, what happened in here? Tell me what happened. Did Michael kill? Did Michael kill again?
I'm going to go first. It's pretty easy for me because there aren't a lot of kills. I'm going to go with Turd Ferguson getting pulled inside out. Just the whole thing from his arm going fucking soft and twisted to that that whole bit, and then just literally the act of him ripping him fucking from the head through his own asshole into a pile of hair and worms. It's fantastic. Laura, what would you give your favorite kill in this one?
I'm not completely sure if it's actually a kill, but when Milo and Mrs. Carlisle show up to the party and they're trying to get past the police officer,
Yep.
and he's like, "Oh, this is my mother. We're invited to the party," and like we cut to like her attacking the cop in the bush.
Right.
I'm assuming she's like attacking him, killing him,
I think
eating
she
him,
ate him.
Yeah.
and she pulls off his toupee and she just looks at it confused, and that's kind of my favorite
All right. All right.
killish part.
Manster, what are you going for?
Yeah, no, it's got to be the Turd Ferguson kill.
Yeah.
That's by far the best kill in the movie.
Yeah, that whole thing with the eyeballs popping out and everything coming down. All right, Larry, what are you going for?
It's Turd.
All right.
Yeah. It's just
That's a good kill because in a lot of movies, especially with almost no kills, the what's his name? The first guy that gets killed in the shunting.
Blanchard.
Blanchard. That's an incredible fucking
Yeah.
kill.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know why I forgot about that when I was picking
Yeah.
mine.
Do you want to change yours?
No, I still like the hair aspect of things. I
Yeah,
don't know
no,
why I find that
that's-
very funny.
for me. It's Turd Ferguson as well.
All right, Turd Ferguson as well. All right, let's rate this fucking thing.
Are those your grades?
Yeah. I don't think that I deserved an F. Do you?
On a scale of
What, Larry? What on this wonderful Halloween day, 2022, do you want to choose to rate from 0 to 5 with quarter and half scale optional 1989 Society?
Screaming Mad Georges,
Screaming Mad Georges.
right.
That's very fair.
and a tribute to him and his great special effects work in this movie.
All right, I'll go first. Here's what I got to say about this movie.
Yeah.
I use Letterboxd to log all my movies, and when you watch something you watched before, it pops up. When I watched this on the watch party again, because I was so busy trying to be funnier than Laura and not doing it, by the way. Impossible. I gave this thing a 1.5. It's a fucking super bizarre movie. And again, that's not the fairest format. Like it's not a fair format to rate a movie based on a Mystery Science Theater watching because you're letting other things influence how you feel about it.
Yeah.
So I watched this the other night for the first time since then, and that was May of 2020.
Oh, wow.
So we're 2+ years later, 2.5 years later almost. And I got to say, this movie leads up to nothing, right? This whole movie leads up to nothing. But as we talked about with the whole thing, that was part of the plan. Brian Usna, he wanted to sacrifice sense for surrealism. And he does that very well. I knew I had seen this movie before, obviously, so I can't say that I didn't know what was coming, but I still had a sense of watching this movie, of realizing that if I'd never seen this before, I was desperately wondering what the fuck was going on. That's a good sign. If it keeps me that, I'm constantly going, what is going on? And I think anybody that watches Society that doesn't know about the shunting, right? And I think a lot of people know about it because it is a pretty popular scene or famous scene, is probably like, where is this going in this movie? Even if you weren't satisfied with the ending, you're going, where's this going? So I enjoyed this. I had a really good time. It was definitely worth watching on its own. I'm going to go with a solid 3.25. I don't love this. But I certainly can say that I'll watch it again. Maybe if I head down to the wonderful archive in Bridgeport, Connecticut one of these days, and they have it on, on a Blu-ray or something along those lines, I wouldn't be object to picking this up. All right, Manster, what do you got for Society?
Well, same as you. I saw it first time ever during that watch party. And then I didn't realize it was on Shudder, so I went and bought it on Vudu rather than renting it because I remember thinking, wow, this is a movie maybe I ought to revisit at some point. So I did that, $14.99.
Can I interject real quick on something?
Yeah.
I have, like the Amazon TV and everything.
Yep.
I have found a lot of movies that when I go to the main search function and type in the movie, it's supposed to tell me what apps it's on.
And it doesn't always work.
And it tells you not on any apps you have to pay for it or rent it, and they're somewhere. I think they're fucking with you.
I usually do a search like on everything if I really, don't want to pay for the movie.
If you Google the movie, it'll almost, when the movie comes up on the Google screen, underneath it will tell you where it is.
Yeah, it's better to
and you can
Google
even put your streaming services,
putting into the
and
Amazon
it'll tell you.
Fire
But
or whatever.
I didn't find it.
Yeah, don't trust the Amazon Fire.
Yeah.
Oh, and it never comes, Shudder never comes up on almost anything.
Yeah, I think that's
Shudder
right.
very rarely comes up.
It'll
on
come up
the-
as AMC because that's Shudder, yeah.
Before I get to my score, I want to ask you a question. How do you like your tea, John?
How do I like my tea?
Cream, sugar, or do you want me to pee in it?
Piss in it. That is a great question.
Right.
When she said that, I was literally like, what?
Yeah, what just happened?
What just
but
happened?
it worked because they started making out right after that.
I gotta be honest, if a chick said that to me, I'm thinking she probably wants to have sex. Like,
or
yeah,
she
if she-
already peed in your tea.
yeah,
Right.
yeah,
Which is fine.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
well, honestly,
okay.
most of her pee got stuck in that bush. Let's be honest.
It's like a filter, so it filters out any of the bad
It
stuff.
filtered out all the impurities.
You think it's like a sponge?
It's like
You think it all gets trapped in there, and then if you push on it, it's like, then all the pee comes out.
Becomes sterile and it
Oh,
like the taste.
1985 bush.
I like to drink my own urine because it's sterile and I like the taste.
Sterile.
Patches O'Houlihan.
All right, so back to the rating. Yeah, a lot of what happens in this movie doesn't matter, but what it does do is it builds, a sense of mystery, paranoia, and stuff like that. Especially what Larry said before. It's clearly, an allegory for the rich eating the poor.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we even talk at all about the satire, but that's what it is. And but you know what? Once you get to that final scene and the Screaming Mad George, the mind-blowing special effects, it's so memorable. There's no way you could just deny this movie. I'm going to give it a 3.5.
3.5. All right.
Solid.
Finish off every episode of Scary Larry's with Larry, so we've got to go to Laura. Laura, 89 Society, 0 to 5, Screaming Mad George's, half and quarter scale optional. What do you give it?
I really enjoy this movie, and also, like both of you, the first time I saw it was at the watch party.
Oh, sweet.
And I've seen it I've watched it a few times since then. So, and I like it. It's absurd and it's weird, and I'm gonna go for a solid 4.0.
4.0?
Screaming Mad George's, yeah.
All right. I think we're heading to the higher mark here.
Ooh.
I could be wrong.
Ooh.
Could be wrong.
Smell a 6 coming.
Smells just coming, yeah.
Well, like they say, I do love the smell of the hunt and the taste of the shunt. You guys said it all. It doesn't make much sense, but it's not meant to make sense. It's all based around the final 15 minutes, and it's even a fun ride getting there. There's not a time through the whole movie, like you said, I'm asking myself what the fuck is going on. I don't understand this, but I'm not at any point about to cash out. I've seen this movie, I don't even know how many times. First time I saw it was probably in the mid-90s and fell in love with it back then. Still get the same kick out of it, especially that final shunting soiree bonanza. Bonanza maybe
The shunting bonanza.
Soiree just sounds so fancy.
Yeah, that's why I changed it bonanza. I think a soiree is too fancy for what was happening, even though they were wearing tuxedos, which is
It
normally
was a fancy party.
Yeah, but then it became a bonanza.
It was a soiree that turned into a bonanza.
Yeah, it started as a soiree, and then as soon as the old men were in wife beaters and boxers,
Yeah.
it became a bonanza.
Yeah, once the first hand went into the first asshole.
And once Cleveland's head became a hand, it's I love this movie. Is it a 5? No. It's not a perfect movie, but it's a lot of fun. It's one that I will keep rewatching. I'll echo Laura and go with 4 Screaming Mad Georges.
All right, those are all pretty solid.
Yeah.
All right. So that ends All Horror October. Thank you for listening, and thank you for going and checking out our Patreon. And if you say to yourself, I haven't done that yet, then do it. Patreon/The Pint, $2.50 a month, and you get a whole bunch of cool stuff. Summertime 1990s, Scary Larry's House of Horror Classics, Phantasm coming soon. Lloyd, tell them where they can find us.
You can find us on Apple Podcasts, iHeart, Spotify, Stitcher, all those podcatchers. We got a YouTube channel, and on Facebook, it's The Pint, a pop culture podcast, and on Instagram and Twitter, it's @ThePint Podcast.
Don't forget to go check us out and also rate us on some of those things.
Yes.
That helps us out a lot. And until next time, Laura, tell everybody out there happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
See ya.
See ya.
We are leaving!